Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Spooky Japan Podcast. We're happy to be back. Today, we have some special guests with us, the Haunted Taxi Ghost Tours. How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Good. How
Thank
you
you.
doing?
We're doing pretty good over here. It's been raining here in Japan all week, and think it's supposed to be raining all next week too.
It's a monsoon season.
Wow, we had a
That's
monsoon
why.
here. Yeah.
It's a rainy season. I
Oh, it's
hate
always
the
that
rainy
fun
season.
time of year.
Ugh. It's the worst time of the year.
Grass growth.
I don't know if this is the worst time of year, Irene, or is it the earthquake season for you?
I think it's a rainy season. Earthquakes start to March. It doesn't quit.
It just
Wow.
doesn't quit.
Just doesn't
Yeah, that's always bad.
So, for the listeners who are not aware of who you are, how would you introduce yourself?
What we are is we're the Haunted Taxi Ghost Tours USA. What we do is we set up haunted taxi ghost tours throughout the U.S. And what we do is we take people on ghost tours in our haunted taxis. They're very personalized. We didn't want to be like the old ghost tours where you went around and somebody goes like this. And on your left side, you see this over here. On your right side, no. We wanted it to be so when you talk to people, you give them, you're directly in the cab. We look at it smaller is better in that situation. Also, too, we go around to about 13 different stops at different places and let you run ghost equipment, so they'll be able to get out and really enjoy themselves. And because Mike and me also run the Haunted Journey show, which is on YouTube and also on Facebook and all the different social media platforms. And so we wanted just to show people what it's like to run ghost equipment and tell you the ghost stories of each place they go.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
definitely the way to start for anyone interested in paranormal. Is just doing like a ghost tour, a public
Yeah.
event. No reason to go out and buy a bunch of equipment because you saw it on YouTube or TV and it looks fun. From someone, I've done a lot of those kind of investigations, and I find out that a lot of them go out and buy the equipment because I saw it on TV or they saw it on YouTube. It looks so fun and interesting, and then they don't realize there's a lot of sit around and wait. So I'm like, I'd rather you go to something like this to see if it's something you're actually interested in before you go out and spend the money on the equipment.
Yeah. They do have some free apps out there that they can try out. And if they do like them, they can get them.
Yeah, one
We
of the
also
reasons
have,
why.
Good. I was going to say, we also have 1322 Maple, House of the Dead. It's probably one in the top 5 haunted houses in the USA. And it's building a reputation pretty quickly.
Yeah, so real quickly, when you go out and this, Amanda, if you're out there, and you too, Irene, ghost equipment is extremely expensive. I mean,
It is.
we've got 2 REM pods we just bought. They're $200 a piece. I'm ordering, just basic stuff. I've ordered. I've got a new bell that you can run, so that it actually has motion detected. I have. We have all sorts of different things. We have a motion detector. We have anything EMF detectors. All that stuff is quite pricey, and that's why on our tours, like Mike said, we do use free apps. So when you do go, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. But if you want to go a little bit deeper into it, there is Necrophonic app or Necrometer or Transcend, and actually I am actually on Facebook, and I follow, and kind of friends with Steve Huff and what's the guy's name? I can't. It's Chris Rogers and it'll come to me here when I get a minute here. But they actually designed the app for Necrophonic, and also the Transcend, and also to Necrometer, which are very, very good ones, by the way. We use those a lot.
I know a lot of
They're
people.
really good.
I know a lot of people recommend those apps too, if people wondering what apps to actually use. Because I know some of them, the rest of them are pretty much entertainment value.
Right.
Yeah, they've got some new equipment that Steve Huff does that Steve's been kind of experimenting with. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Transcend is that one's called. Why can't I feel terrible. I'm going to be on this doggone podcast. I'm forgetting his freaking name. That's just terrible. Come on,
Oh,
Steve.
you need to remember
Forget
it once you're off. As soon as we say
I
goodbye,
will.
you're
I
gonna be like,
mean,
that's what his name
maybe.
Oh
is.
yeah, they'll
Oh my
trigger
gosh,
it.
he's such a nice guy too. He's always sending me stuff. I should just know it right away if I just. I forget what it is right now.
How did the paranormal begin for you guys?
Go ahead, Mike. You can talk about You can talk for a second there.
Well, for me, I have a CBD store here in Olathe, and Steve was doing some marketing, and we did some videos up here of the CBD store, and then we started talking about the paranormal, and we went looking for houses up in Atchison, which is a really haunted town close here to where we live. And I would say there's probably 5 to 10 actual haunted houses up there in Atchison.
Yep.
And we purchased one that had been abandoned for several years. And I guess the lady that lived there, she went crazy, calling the police all the time, things moving, doors opening and shutting, pieces missing. So it was pretty interesting.
I got that name, by the way. I would search it and find it. His name is Keith Weldon. And Keith, I'm very sorry that I forgot. Keith is a very good guy, along with Chris Rogers and also Steve Huff. They're the ones that talk with Kobe Bryant, and Steve Huff will talk with different people that are dead, like Robin Williams. It's pretty interesting. So I've got a lot of their equipment, the Impossible Box, things like that, dual port, things like that at the house we run. And that stuff is really incredible. I'll get on there and I'll start talking and with running it, and I'll hear like, what was the guy's name? The overnight guy. I can't even think of his name right now. The guy was the overnight guy for Overnight America, who died
the radio
a few years.
Announcer.
Yeah, radio announcer. And so we get a lot of different voices in it. We get like big band music come from there. And it's crazy. You know what? I got a video, if you mind if I show it real quick, of something that happened in our house here not too long ago.
Yeah, you have three clips. Is there any order you want me to show them in?
Just do the first one first. This one's kind of this is in the attic. So you can click on that.
So for anyone listening who might be interested in this house, what state is it located in?
Yes.
Okay, we're in Kansas. It's in Atchison, Kansas. We're just north of Kansas City, and we actually go from Kansas City to there. And so it's a smaller town, but it's one of the most haunted towns in the U.S.
Okay.
But it's right dead center in the middle of the USA, basically.
Right. Yeah. So you want me to? Yeah, I'm sorry. I was in the attic. Watch the ceiling. You see it? Now listen to the audio.
Moved over to the left.
You see right here? You hear?
Shut all the video down, or the radio,
Every one of them did this.
volume.
It'll eventually come back.
A little bit here. We've drawn a black obsidian ball to the sky. Okay, yeah. So just put your head down there.
So that's one from us, and it kind of tells you about how to get it if you're in America here. I like the old when you're at the whatchamacallit, when you used to be go to the theaters. I'll take that out. Went to the theaters.
A little popcorn.
When I went to theaters, I used to like the end when it always said, "See you next week." Ah! like that's why I did that. But as far as the house goes, our cameras go off 250 times a day. We have many cameras there. We've had one break in half. We have to tape them in. We have to actually tape them in because they get ripped out at different places. We actually use, by the way, don't use duct tape or Gorilla tape. Use T-Rex tape, which is the best tape.
T-Rex tape holds them in there.
Yeah, but these cameras will get thrown around, guys. And so what's scary about it is it's, you know, I changed them all back here recently and went to Casey's when I got back, Mike. They were all back over again. They just flip right back over.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
That house.
You know what?
That house moves chairs.
There, just came here. Like, no, you can't come here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
you can't come here and visit me.
I'm called. Okay, so I hear you, Irene. You're sensitive too, which is good, and I'm called one of the super sensitives in the U.S., which is great. I'm glad I'm on you guys' show. I can tell you about my near-death experience, which is interesting. I've had that happen, and ever since then, I've just seen things. I originally didn't do this. I coached high school football, and then I got sick, and I ran a floor cleaning business, which I still run, Total Clean. But the bottom line is that afterwards I was seeing things and feeling things, and they call me out personally. They'll actually come. I've had some of the top psychics in the world come to talk to me because they want me to talk about stuff that I see and do. And I don't want to get into it too much. Like I've had a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Steve, you need to do this, this, and this." What I really want to do is want to be good at ghost tours, and I really want to have our house and other haunt stuff that we do. But it is kind of crazy, Irene, to be when you feel that demonic entities are real. We have at least 4 in the house, and they're all documented there, and which they're there, and they'll call their names out, and they will just this weekend. Twin Paranormal were there, and I believe they were talking with a woman demon that was there. So.
What Madison?
Well, that's one. That's one.
Right?
We don't use their. By the way, guys, you'll never hear me use their names. I use their letters because I've brought it home at least 3 times. Mike and me have both had our crosses burned on our chest. I actually had mine burned on my chest, which is it doesn't like religious words. And we believe in God. But it is kind of scary. So that's why when we send you up to the house, when you go to visit it on your ghost tour, or you can stay it, we don't let people spend the whole night because it's dangerous. So we let them stay there for about 4 or 5 hours,
very dangerous.
And then they go home because we want to make sure they get out of there safe. We make fear not horrifically terrifying. We make fear fun.
Yeah, I just didn't like when it came to visit me because it was like I said, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's
you tell them to leave you alone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I got this with me. It's not going to bother me.
What's
you guys
that?
know also too up north up there, I have a Holocaust doll. My grandfather was in the Nuremberg trials, and so I've got a book that's in safety deposit box. It is priceless. We have a doll named Dirty Gertie. She's up there. We actually have her all in a case. We don't want her to get out because she is very, very, very haunted. And we have other haunted dolls we have up there at the house. Our house had a pentagram. Our house was demonically sealed in the basement. It actually was sealed by someone. And so when you go down there, we've had rocks thrown at people. Paranormal Files, when they were there, they had rocks thrown at them. So, oh yeah, not a good, not always happy.
I think I've seen that clip. Yeah, I feel like I think I've seen that clip.
Yeah. So you can actually click on the number 2 one here if you want to. This number 2 one here will actually show you. Just the other night we were there with a group with my brother, funny enough. And if you click on this one, you'll see this thing moving around. We're in the basement, and Mike picked this up on one of the cameras when we were there. is pretty incredible.
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
it's
you're going to
quite
run
long.
that one?
Yeah, we won't run the whole thing, but if you want to run a little bit of
It's
that,
about
that'd be
8
okay.
minutes.
Yeah. So you
And
see
I
those?
think
You
it's
see
I
orbs
think it's
there, we're
something
moving, watch the
walking.
orb. And that's our
See these
cameras. They're all
two-
upside
two-
down, and they go
Okay,
off
it's
like, yeah. That's
You
why
see
they're
that
upside
moving?
down. Just watch it, and it starts to fill in almost like an aberration. I believe that's a demonic entity, though. The more because we were there, and I keep hearing the name called out. So watch, it gets crazy. It starts taking pictures and moving and turning into all sorts of things. It's really weird. And we're down in the basement. The basement is on the right-hand side. We're down, and you got to understand it is upside down because you see it taking. It
Yeah.
actually turned the lights on. Also takes pictures.
And see, look how it moved together. And it kept moving.
That's crazy, right? You see the other orbs falling around in there. You'll see a lot of other orbs.
Some orbs shooting through there.
Yeah, it went that way.
Yeah.
So
But we don't know what that
people
is.
out there think that that's from a camera.
See how it learned
Our cameras don't face that way at all. Our cameras are actually, we have two in the room there, and neither one go that direction on the wall. So whatever that is, it's showing up. That's not from our cameras. Because our cameras are actually,
no, it's moving
they're
all
actually,
over the place.
and you can actually see the one camera
stationary.
all the way on the left-hand side corner there. It's lit up. You'll actually start seeing it kind of fill in, which is kind of crazy.
Whatever that is.
You guys ever see anything like that
We don't know
before?
what that
Becca
was.
froze it, took the picture.
Oh, second.
And then it
He
spreads
goes by the name of Jonah,
apart again.
and he was killed long time ago. He was murdered.
You ever see anything like that, Amanda, before?
No.
Very cool, isn't it? I was here, and I'll
like
tell you
an
what.
orb,
When I was there in the basement, I was feeling something moving around. I kept kind of seeing the lights turn on and off upstairs, and I couldn't figure out why they all went off. And then this was just running around. Mike actually had to pick it up. You can actually see on the wall here. There's starting to be some other stuff with it. If you look closely there. You see it there, kind of trying to looks like it's trying to, aberrations come in, they'll come together, and sometimes they'll start with a little like this and get bigger.
That's weird how
And
it's
then when
moving,
I come upstairs,
moving exactly the same.
so when I come upstairs, you're going to see all the orbs. And this is, Irene, when you were talking about being a sensitive. They like to come talk with me. You'll come and you'll see a massive amount go way up. Now, our body is built on 100-body cemetery that was still there. It was about 600 at one time. There were bad African Americans buried in 2-foot graves, and they're still around the house. There's many graves. And this also house was a crack house for a while, so it's been negative for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you take the haunted taxi tour up in, are you all right?
You okay, Ari?
I got to go.
So let me tell you guys this. This is very normal what's happening to her. It happens sometimes with sensitives. I mean, and this can mess with people on electronics too. I've told this to people. I've learned real quickly. Here's the first thing, Amanda, I do is I tell them, and guys, I am a family-friendly guy, but I do tell them to piss off, okay? Because I don't want them to come home with me, and I have a ghost-free zone at home. I never run any of my equipment in here at the house. I'm very, very, keep them away. And what's happening to Irene is it happens more than you know to other people. I've seen it. And so people out there who don't understand, they say, "Oh, that's lights." There's no lights in our house. Anything that does that.
It looks like them, like they're.
Yeah, it's not just the two little dots though. Too, you can see like
they're connected.
Yeah, you can see though also like outside of it, like a body of a person.
Yeah. What's crazy, you see the other orbs shoot by. You'll see a lot. You see it also, too, inside there. You can see the lights. And see how it just affected all the lights? That is a demonic entity, people. That's what the demons do. They can control things. They'll do the opposite of what you want them to do. They lie. And we're going to come up. They're all going to come upstairs here in a second.
I don't know if
As
that's
soon as
two
I
of
come
them
up,
or
watch what
they're
happens to all the
connected.
orb. The orbs come, they'll go crazy. You ever see anything like that? That's crazy, isn't it?
That is.
It's just waiting for them to do something. I don't know what this is.
Irene, you okay?
It's like
by
a
the way,
tandem. Like they're
are you
connected.
feeling
I'm
this?
okay.
What I'm feeling? This is what this is no joke. People out there who want to, if you know, actually, I have a room I set up there. Irene could probably love the way it is. As a sensitive, you can actually feel what it's like to be like Irene and myself. I've set it up so you can come and sit in it and get that same feeling that we have, which is, and then people go, wow, I didn't realize that happens. See, look how crazy how that is. And now they're all coming upstairs. Now watch what happens when I get to the top. How many orbs show up? That's my brother. That's some of the people. That's his girlfriend. Comes some other people on the tour that were really good. Pete was a real good guy in his family. And then I'll come up. Oh, I'm wearing my yellows. And look what happens to the audio now. Watch what happens. Well, it just keeps going crazy. Watch.
Can you guys wait?
They don't like me. Keep going. It'll show. Oh, look at that. You see it run into me?
That was another one.
We're not done. It keeps just that's right. I think that was the end of it. No, it's not. That's right. It kept going.
I think it freezes.
All the time. Same thing it did upstairs, right? Amanda, remember when that hand came down that's doing the same thing now down here?
Mm-hmm.
That crazy?
Yeah, cut the sound off.
Where all this
Nobody's
stuff, it costs a lot of money. There's nothing really cheap, okay? Nothing cheap. None of this is cheap.
I'm even talking about that. You and Amanda, how it's not cheap. Look how it flipped over for it. Did you see it flip over for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see all the orbs now? So, yeah, that was it. That was pretty good. I like that video. I thought that clip was pretty doggone good.
It disappeared after that.
It did.
Whatever it was. It was there for a very long time, though. And usually ghosts are like in a flash.
You see all the orbs going by?
So you got
There's lots
butts
of them
going.
there. You guys know there's 100. They say there's 100 bodies, but I think it's closer to 140. When I mow, I'm actually mowing those bodies. They're still there.
Yeah, I got
go.
two. I got two out of the 140.
Well, there you go. They're bad. I'll go ahead and remove it from there. What do you think, Amanda? What do you think of that?
That was pretty cool.
Would you?
You can definitely see
Irene,
the
you okay,
outline.
by the way? What's happening to Irene coughing and that is very, very common to happen. Now, listen, I've cleansed. I actually know how to cleanse houses, and I don't really like to go around doing it that often because that's why these people follow me. These people try to search me out. A lot of these psychics are asking me to want me to come do. It's funny. I've had them at the house, and they get behind me because they're like, "You're the light. You be the light and keep us away." And I'm like,
yeah, we're gonna follow you.
They ganged up on me one night up there, and they burned my cross with one of the top psychics in the world. And actually, when they came away from there, they called our house the most haunted house in the world.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
You doing okay, Irene?
You get a little sick?
All right. Hey, Irene, so real quickly, first thing first, just tell them to piss off. I'm telling you, tell them to piss off. You're done with them. Stop it. Tell them to stop it. And I'm going to tell them right now, leave her alone right now, please. Whatever you're trying to freaking do, I'm not putting up with it. Amen. There you go.
You get affected by video sometimes, Irene?
She does.
Yeah, she does.
It's
Yeah.
okay, Irene. Hey, guess what, Irene? Everybody has, you know what? That's a good thing. Usually people with the sensitivities are some of the richest people. They're also some of the people that actually are like can see things before other people do, which is really a good thing. A lot of people look at it as a curse, and it's not. And that's the first
No.
when I never had it before, I didn't know what it was like. After when it happened, I got sick, and then that's when it changed for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of like used to it. I get kicked around. I get whacked in the head. I get punched in the stomach. I get everything done. Yeah, that happens to me.
Wow.
But Irene, that's a good thing because, funny enough, in the long run, you probably have a higher place up in heaven when you go. So know that, which is good. And so you got to look at it like that. Some people don't understand this, but
Nope.
out there, and they say, "Oh, this is mumbo jumbo." We had a kid come to our house who came there, and he was just bad mouthing everything in the house, this, that, and the other. Went down and sat down in the wheelchair that moves we have a wheelchair that moves in our basement with the rocks. And we went down there, which it's demonically sealed, and he's down there and he's just bad mouthing, sits down in the chair. All of a sudden his girlfriend's on the stairs. This guy slides down the chair like this. And he says, and he goes quiet because we were doing Estes method. And he would sit down and he goes, "I'm paralyzed." And so we took him out of the house. He wasn't paralyzed, but he took him out of the house. He went up the street with about 4 other people. There was 11 of them on the tour. When they left, he left and wrote us a review. He said, "I never believed in ghosts or anything till I came to that house." He said, now he believes.
That's why it's so important to be respectful of a haunted house, because if you're not, you're going to get your ass whipped.
You are. And, it's funny you're feeling like you do, because I run into a lot of these people, Irene, out there, some of the top people in the world. I've had, Canada's top psychic. They call me all the time because they want me to talk about what happened to me. And I don't really want to go down that route anymore. I just want to push Haunted Taxi Ghost Tours. And I want to be on the show with Spooky Japan podcast, which I really enjoy being on.
Yeah.
And
I don't talk about what happened to me too. Yeah. It happened to me twice. And it's only 45 minutes away from where I live, where I used to live.
She was possessed twice.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what she's talking about. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why I don't talk about it.
No, you know what though? But here's the thing, Irene, it happened to you. And possession does happen. I've had it told me it's attached to me. I told it again. Piss off.
Yeah.
So you guys got a forest over there that I would love to go to. It's called Arikara. I would want to pay big bucks to go to.
We're going in October. Going in October.
Yeah.
How do you actually say it?
Are you going to make a video?
Okihara.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We're going to Keontaki too, which is another suicide waterfall.
Yeah, what's that? Also, that tunnel they got over near there too. It's pretty haunted. They always talk about it. Yes, that's where you're at.
That's actually that's like 2 hours away from me, and I told Irene you have to come down here so we can go see it.
Yeah.
So and
my husband used to live not too far away from there. And as a child, everyone knows about that area. He goes, "I know where it is. I could take you there."
Be careful that suicide forest now. Woo, man. I'm going to tell you guys that is some kind of...
Well, that's why we're not going alone either.
Yeah,
well, it's... you have to treat it with respect. You have to not go in. You can go in front of it. You could light incense. You could burn a candle.
Right.
You could give offerings, but that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
You don't talk to them, because suicide victims have to be really jealous. They're jealous because you're living and they're not.
They're right. You're right.
You achieved something and they didn't. So you have to be very careful about who you interact with. That's why I don't do a lot around here. That's why my work mostly is in the United States, because I get calls all the time. So you
So
just have to
you're
be.
part of the same situation I have. They call
Yeah.
you and they want you to come. And guys, what she's talking about, a lot of people go, "What the heck are you talking about?" They don't know, but there is groups of people that want to talk with you. They literally have had people lease out the house just to talk to me. And I really don't, and that's crazy, right? I'm like, why? You're coming to see a haunted house. Come see the haunted house. Don't come see me. I mean,
That's right.
I consider myself boring compared to that house. So, I mean, I'm okay, but I'm not, but I'm not that. So,
Yeah.
so you
I
guys have
just.
a paranormal team together, Amanda, or what?
Well, we pretty much are. I mean, our page is Spooky Japan Podcast, but as we
Well,
also tell people,
just the two of us. It's just the two of us.
we're the only two people
Ah.
here in Japan who's really open about being into the paranormal and investigator. So we can't put Spooky Japan Podcast and investigations because we can't post any investigations here because here in Japan it's kind of a taboo subject to talk about the paranormal. So even if we do go out and investigate, we kind of can't really film and
Put it
post that.
online.
Yeah,
And
it's no way.
Right.
it's another thing is that when you go to a place that's haunted in Japan, you have to be very careful because the spirits in that video will come up and hunt somebody else. That's why you really don't. You have to be really. You have to be really. Yeah, you have to be extremely careful. Like I was watching an interesting haunted Japanese video, right? And I was watching it on my phone. I go, "Yeah, this is cool." And my son came up, said, "He goes, are you watching haunted video?" I go, "No." He goes, "Yeah, please stop because that spirit just came in front of me and said ha 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 to me." I said, "Okay, I won't watch." I turned it off and I clicked it off and yeah, because my son is also like all of us are all my eldest son,
Oh,
my
he
youngest son, my
too.
daughter,
It
all
runs
of
in
us
her
are
family.
we're all
Wow.
pretty much that way. So yeah, so
Must
you
be
have to be very
hereditary, huh?
careful.
I think her
My mom
mom.
was that way too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure her mom was. So that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Is for her
Yep.
it is hereditary.
Wow.
Yep.
Just,
So we're all used to it. So
that's kind of interesting.
not
You're
really
used to seeing this kind
because
of stuff all the time.
yeah, you live with it 365 days out of the year. And everyone says, "You know what? I love to have your gift." I said, "No, you don't." They said, "Why not?"
No.
Because you don't want it. And the reason why is that it comes with a lot of responsibility.
It also comes with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Kind of fear it too.
Bothering
Yeah.
you all the time. Yeah.
Only when I take a bath. I said, "Get out of here. I'm taking a bath. Leave me alone." Or I said,
Do they listen?
"Take a number." It's
I'll
Take
tell
a
you guys.
big
I'll
number,
tell you
huh?
guys. I'll tell you guys a couple people that I've watched on the Arakawa Forest. I've actually watched Steve Robbins, who's been there exploring with Josh. They were there
Yeah.
together. That was a good one they did from there.
Wow,
And then there
that's
was a
good.
guy, I can't find his name. He did a whole series on it. And he was, and I forget his name, Johnny Paranormal. That's his name. By the way, if you ever want to watch something that's amazing, he went there during the daytime and he actually found stuff that was going on. His name is Johnny Paranormal. I think he's from Australia, I believe. And so, but yeah, that shows you how crazy that place is. So,
Oh yeah,
you
I
guys are
know.
there. I'd go there and I would say, hey, Mike, where do you want to go for the next investigation? Mike, because we like to pick out places. Let's go to Harakara and let's go in that.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, then you have to call
like
me.
Irene with us.
like
Come
to
on,
take
Irene,
you.
let's
Take
go.
it.
Let's go. You're
I'll take
sensitive.
you.
Let's go.
I'll take you.
Yeah.
We see all kinds of stuff there.
You don't have to go far to see anything.
No,
Wow.
yeah. It's funny with that. It's funny with that forest though, because as we tell people, because over here in Japan, we obviously also get Japanese videos too, and I tell people I get a lot of these videos showing up on my feed too, where in that forest, I don't think the whole entire thing is haunted, and it's not believed to all be haunted, Part of it, yes, and Irene can tell you at least 5 lakes around the haunted part. The
Yeah.
bad part of the forest is all black.
Yeah. There's no birds
all
chirping.
black.
There's no nothing. No insects. No nothing.
No
So
snakes,
around
no
the 5
insects,
lakes, it's all
no
black.
birds.
The water's black.
But then
Wow.
there's another part of that forest where I've seen a lot of videos from the locals say almost daily, or if at least or at least weekly, depends on the person. They hike a different part of it all the time when they showed videos because they're like, "This is the most peaceful area." And it's the complete opposite. And they know, and the locals know, if you come to this T, you want to go to the right. So that you stay in the good part. It's nice and relaxing and peaceful. If you go to the left, that goes to the bad part of the forest part you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So
The demonic
it's
part.
really weird. Yeah.
But you see, Mount Fuji is haunted itself, okay,
Right.
because it's a live volcano, okay, and scientists have to climb the volcano to go inside to measure the volcanic activity and to measure the lava in the volcano. So when they go up the volcano, they either die going up the volcano or they die going down the volcano.
Right.
So
A lot of
it's
death
pretty
around
haunted
that bad
itself.
boy, isn't there? A lot of death around that forest. A lot around Mount Fuji. You're right. I mean, it has a that. Like I said, I think people always ask me, a couple places I go. One would be there. Another one would be 30 East Drive
Mhm.
in England. I'd like to go to 30 East Drive. Some of the bigger, haunted places I like to watch. I like to pick them up and see which ones I would like to
I
go
like to
to.
take people to the other places that people don't know of. Like everyone
Yeah,
knows about Aokihara, right? But
yeah,
nobody knows about the suicide waterfall. Nobody knows about
yeah.
the samurai head that's been buried in their grave. That's pretty haunted. Like there's a lot of
Wow.
places around that's extremely charged, and I know about it, right? Because I know. And yeah, it's just talking to the relatives. I know my relatives are pretty old, and
Right.
they told me about these things. And yeah, I mean the suicide waterfall is just absolutely beautiful. But when you go up close, you take a picture, you could see them jumping off the waterfall, plunging to their death. And it's
Ooh.
residual energy. It's extremely charged, and now they built um fences and gates around it, so you can't kill yourself anymore off the waterfall. But you can. There's a bridge that you can walk across it, and you can see it, and you can take pictures. You can stand in front of the bridge. You can stand in front of the waterfall and take pictures, still pictures. If you take still pictures, you can see the faces of the people
Wow.
killed themselves. Amanda, tell them why.
Ooh.
So the reason how that started was Japan lost the war, and a lot of people were very upset about it. So they all just
Absolutely.
kind of made like this mass suicide and jumped off the
That's packed.
waterfall because they were
That's why people.
afraid that America was going to come to Japan and take over. And they didn't want to see that. They'd rather die than see the United States come over and take over. Obviously, we're
Well,
just
yeah.
allies. We didn't go to take over, but and that's what I told Irene when we go. I'm like, I'm going to be more interested to see how they react towards me compared to her.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too. By the way, so for politically correct, by the way, because I know on all the different social media platforms, if you have a thought of that word suicide, there is plenty. There's so much help for you. Please, please ask clergy, ask friends, ask families. Do
Yeah,
not go that route. There's many other ways.
No.
Yeah.
You can. This is life is to be experienced. It's good.
Yeah.
I believe that you're here,
Yeah.
and then it is God's life, and you need to just ask for help, and that's
Yeah.
the goal. Is do not
Yeah.
leave your family like that. It is devastating and one of the worst things you could do. And so, but if you can do anything and you get to that point, please ask for help because there are
Yeah.
people that will help you.
The thing is that
Oh yeah.
because we are not a Christian country, okay? We are a Buddhist country, okay? And as far as Buddhist law is concerned, you are allowed to end your suffering. You are allowed to stop stop from having your miserable life. So it's not taboo in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically they believe if you're not happy or you're whatever, you can end your life
It's
and
okay.
be reincarnated and try in the next life. That's why there's so many suicides, unfortunately, here in Japan.
Yeah.
Mental health, and that's one thing they tell us before coming over here. Mental health, it's not really a thing here. I mean, there's no psychiatrist, so that's also why they say we need to make sure you're mentally sound in mind, whatever you want to call it. They need to make sure you're mentally okay, because unfortunately, if you have poor mental health, you're not going to get the help you need in Japan.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is why all these people come to me, I believe. Okay. People out there, there is, repeat after me, a heaven. I've been there. Hello, there is a heaven. So stop, think, and look at your life differently, because you're very lucky to be alive. This is not your life. This is God's life. And so go do the right thing in your life and enjoy it. Don't go out and do
Take
something so
advantage of it.
stupid. And the reason why I go doing haunts is that I don't really, I go there. A lot of them want to talk to me and ask me questions, and a lot of them I don't know what to say. But, I have in my house, they'll ask me questions, and I'll hear them, right, Mike? And they'll ask for me, and they'll go, they'll ask me, and they'll say, and I'll say, hey, we have some nefarious things happen in our house. And I always tell the people there's nothing more you can do. The people that have done those things back in the 1920s and early 30s, they're long gone. And so you got to look at that and in your life and say, this is an important life. You have one time to live, so go out and do the best you possibly can.
Yeah.
So I know you. I know over there it's crazier. And you have the movies like The Ring and things like that. You think it's completely
they're based
different.
off of actual urban legends or ghost stories in Japan.
Yeah.
Right.
The Ring is actually a modern version of a urban legend that they still swear took place at the Himaji Castle.
Yeah.
As the story goes, I mean, obviously they made it more modern, but as the story goes, that at that castle there was a dish maiden. Her name was Okiku. Just like the doll, but that's different. That they're two different things.
Sure.
That's why Irene made the noise. That's the reason why I remember her name. Irene is that doll. Because I looked up the doll, they said, "Do you want the ghost story?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I want a ghost story." And her name was Okiku. I don't remember the samurai's name, but there's a samurai that lived there that found her, that was very attracted to her, wanted her to become his lover. She always rejected him, and he kept asking. She always rejected. He got impatient, so he decided to, I'm going to take matters in my own hand. The lord of the castle had 10 very decorative, I guess, expensive plates. He hid one of them, and he just kind of went to the lord and said, "Hey, I was just going by wherever they were displayed, and I see 9." So, of course, when the Lord sees it, he's not very happy. Who's he going to blame? The dish maiden. So she's frantically searching all over for this plate. She kept counting to 9, kept recounting, hoping to find this 10, but she never did. She could never find it, and he kind of made her a deal like, "Oh, I can help you with the Lord, and I can kind of convince him you're not the one responsible for it missing if you agree to be my lover." She once again refused. He got pissed, so he abused her. He tied her up. He kept dunking her into the well and bringing her back up, and he kept asking her each time, "Are you going to be my lover?" She would say no. Hit her again, dunk her again, kept doing it over and over again. Kept asking, she kept refusing, until finally she just kind of died in that well.
Wow.
And then after that, every night her ghost would come out of the well, and you would just hear her count to 10,
Mhm.
then followed by a blood-shattering scream. And they said if you heard any part of
Screams.
her counting to 9, you got extremely sick. If you
Yeah.
happen to hear the scream, you were soon going to die.
Wow.
So
Holy
Hollywood,
cow.
Hollywood
Woo.
heard, yeah, Hollywood heard that story, and they actually based that off of The Ring. But they're like, we're gonna obviously make it more modern because it was
Right,
going
right,
to a
right,
well,
right.
and there's still that well is blocked off, and you can still kind of see it and take a picture. I've seen pictures of it. There's a sign on there too that says this was her well that she died in. The Ring is based off of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and that's
awesome.
where
Now, see, that's the kind of
That's
stuff,
pretty
Mike,
wild.
over there. When they talk about some of these places up in the mountains there, they no longer go to these schools closed. And a lot of these guys like Exploring with Josh, Steve Robbins, they go to these places and they're extremely haunted when they go in there. They have a lot of stuff happen, like, stuff that you just can't even explain. Unexplainable. That's kind of like our house a little bit. That's what it does. It's unexplainable. You don't understand it. You just kind of like go with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, but yeah, that's a great story because I love The Ring, but I
So
just
is-
think The Ring is a scary movie. Period.
well, yeah, they also
You
had to make it
know-
more
Yeah.
modern where you accidentally saw the video.
There's another place that's like that. My son's school. In the middle
Oh,
of
yeah.
Tokyo.
Cool.
Yeah. During the war,
A lot
or
of kids got
just
killed
before
there.
the war, it was a farm field, and
Yeah.
a mother and a daughter and her husband, and the daughter was not her husband's daughter, and so she feared that he would find out, and she thought that that the daughter would be getting between the husband and her, so she killed this daughter by throwing her down the well.
Wow.
Oh,
Afterwards, the well was covered up. They had Japanese prayers on the well, so she won't come out. The property was sold, where my son goes to school now. It's a high school, okay? And they uncovered the well. Now she's running havoc in the school.
Wow.
The
Wow.
well is in the middle of the gymnasium.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still there.
In the middle of the
The gymnasium was
gymnasium?
built
They just
on
built
top of the
whatever
well.
over it.
They just built right over it. That's that's what we got. We got our
And
house is built on the cemetery. Same thing.
She's 14 years old. She comes out when we have this entering. My son wants to accept to this high school, and during the ceremony, she comes out. She bothers the people, right? She chooses her target. This man was going like this. He was doing this.
Wow.
And it was in the middle of the gymnasium. The well's in the middle of the gymnasium. She was up there. I said, "You can't be doing this. You got to go." She goes, "Why?" Because I like doing this. I said, "No, you're not. You're not going to do this. If you're going to do this, I'm going to kick your butt out." I told her that. And she says, "Okay, I'll leave." But yeah, one day my son was going to the bathroom on the 3rd floor. And she went knock, knock, knock on the stall door. Nobody was in his bathroom except him. He goes, "Nope." He said, "Nope." He said, "No, please don't."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Don't come
Leave
with
me alone.
after that.
He ran out of
Leave me
that
alone.
toilet like you wouldn't believe. He said, he came home. He said, "Mom." I go, "What?" He goes, "You know my school's haunted." I said, "Yeah, you know, yeah." He goes, "Shit, why did you tell me?" I said, "I mean, I couldn't really tell you because
Right.
you
don't
like
want to
this
freak him
school,
out.
right?"
Right.
Yeah. He goes, "I'm not going to no bathroom in the middle classes." I go, "Well, what the hell were you gonna do? You gotta go, right?" He goes, there's a convenience store next door. I'm gonna go there. So he goes to the convenience store.
There you go.
And yeah, I know she's
Awesome.
there. Her whole
What a
family's
great
there.
story.
Her whole family's there. Her whole family haunts the school. And yeah, it's just they can't leave, right?
Wow.
I mean, it'd be
Okay,
great
wow,
if I could take you there.
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean, you see, W school, you have to have special permission to go in the school because no adults, no parents are allowed in the school without special permission. But I can take you there. I can ask the school. And yeah, it's
We
right in
gotta
the
try to plan something, maybe go over there. That would be pretty cool if we
it's
did
right
that.
in the middle
We'll
of Tokyo,
Yeah,
right?
Think about a month. I could just go to all
And
these places.
from his school,
be
you can
awesome.
see Tokyo Tower. That's how close it is. And it's a really nice school. It's the most academic school that you could ever join. It's really hard to get in. The entrance exam is extremely difficult, but he got
Yeah.
in. He said, "Mom, do you have to go to school today?" No, I'm doing it remotely. See, I got my iPad here. I'm
Yeah,
doing it this
right.
way. I'm not going. I go,
Ah,
"Shit."
that's great.
Yeah,
Great story.
yeah. I mean, he gets freaked out. He knows it. He knows this is spirit because he can feel it, right? You can feel it.
Who wants to go to the restroom and have somebody knock on your stall? Like, leave me alone. I'm going to the restroom right now, please.
Yeah, I'm doing my job. It's the toilet, okay?
Leave me alone, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so can I do a quick shout out for a couple people there? Because
Yep.
we've got some of the bigger people around that come to the house, and you guys might know Nightmare Nation. I want to thank those guys for coming.
Yeah, Nightmare
Tyler
Nation.
and that group they're their best. They're really good. Dawson Toller, yes, Dawson Toller is also very
Dawson Toller.
good house. The Booze Brothers, really good guys, done a good. And a couple other ones are really big. Creepy Colorado Paranormal. Michelle and Megan, they are the best. If you guys watch their stuff on Facebook, they do Facebook Lives. They were just at the Axe Murder House in Villisca, and then they also went to Squirrel House, the Squirrel Cage Jail in Council Bluffs, and it was really great. This weekend I happened to be home and I got to watch them. They did a great job. Those girls are great. And then we've had several other people come to our house, Mecky and some other ones. And I just want to thank everybody who comes
Paranormal Files game.
Paranormal Files too. We got it
Paranormal
right.
Files game.
Papa Spooks, we got it. Those guys are the best. I mean, I'm telling you guys, we've had some really great groups come, and we are open for people to come to see what we're doing. If you want to do real quick here, Amanda, you could run that last video, and then we can get back to talking. I'll let you guys watch this little video. This is actually the house and also the cab, okay?
Are you ready, Irene? I need to make sure Irene's good.
Just a second. I'm just calling them to come here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Then we'll all see the movie.
Yeah, I got a little something here. This is the greatest hits from the house. So, gotta have some creepy music. That's our house.
Not much.
There it goes.
That's coming out the front door.
That's the demon going out to get coffee at Starbucks. This is in the yard. This woman flies. We actually had a woman recently had her neck wrong, scratched her back. That's moving around all the way around the inside of the porch. You'll see it here. It moves up and down. That's about 12 and a half feet up in the air, looking in from the outside. That's Dirty Gertie up in the attic. Here's the Holocaust doll. This is Mike filming, and his camera flipped upside down. That's John Wayne Gacy. Yes, we have John Wayne Gacy. Coming down the stairs.
We don't know that was.
It was coming down the stairs.
Would it stick on you?
Did it stop? That's crazy. Did it stop right there? Wow. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
That's
I was
insane.
like,
It just stopped there. Wow, really?
I want you to view this for a while. Looks like he's growing.
Yeah.
Skip him along there, man, to see what happens. There we go. That is insane. That shouldn't stop there. What? Okay. Messing with the electronics. Way to go.
Nice.
Yep.
That isn't crazy. Hey, listen. Knock it off and stop pissing around with our stuff. Okay? We're here on a show. Leave us alone. That's crazy, right? I mean, that's crazy.
We got coming
That
down
never
there,
does that.
Irene.
Never
Oh
does.
yeah, it's not even. Because I used to get
See?
bored. And it's
Look.
still.
See?
It just stopped.
You know what I'll do? What I'll do, Amanda? Hey, Ghost, guess what I can do? I can remove it from the stage, and I'm going to remove it from here, and I'm going to re-put it on here just to make you mad. Right? I mean, that's what you can't play with them, right? I'm hoping
Nope.
this is the one, though. I think it might be this one here.
So can you still visit the
There it is.
the
Go ahead and
well
play
that
it again.
you
This
were
time
talking
I'll
about,
play it again.
Amanda?
You can go to the Hamaji Castle. You can technically see it. It is it is boarded off, but it's still there for you to see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because
Okay.
I've seen, because people have taken pictures of it, obviously because of its fame.
They know
But I
about
have
it.
seen it,
Yeah.
and it's just boarded up now.
Well, you can replay that now. It's ready to run again. So we'll see how it goes this time.
We'll see.
That's crazy, right?
That
Leaving
was
the
the,
house.
that was
That's
the craziest
crazy,
one.
right? That is crazy. That's in the
Have
yard.
you ever-
We know she's one of the demon. Like I said, I use her name. That's Den Demon. I don't like to use her real name. But you watch this one. Our ring, that's like I said, 12 and a half feet up in the air. Our ring cameras, we can't put them in the house because they get broken down all the time. So we
Oh
have
yeah,
to
they
use
cut
different things like
everything
lights.
off.
They shut everything. And again, all our cameras are upside down 250 times a day.
Oh, he was moving around. That's why I was starting
That's
to look
why
at
he was
him. Looked like
moving.
he was
That's why I
going to
said
get ready to
John
walk.
Wayne Gacy was. Have you seen that thing go by? That's John Wayne Gacy was dancing. Oh, we went by
Okay.
at that time, man. There you go.
I was like, man, I hope it
Yeah,
keeps going.
that's the top of the stairs. That's crazy, right?
I was gonna say, whoever that shadow
That
is
was the
really
guy
just
up
wants to
there.
be seen.
That's our logo. This is empty house. Our house usually knocks in threes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Over there, that's what the old cemetery used to look like. We have 2 psychomantriums in the house for you to do. The house looks like, and I put a little creepiness to that one. That's an entity right there looking at you.
Yeah.
See him right there. That's in the floor. We actually had that happen when we were there. We had
Hey,
some
you
crazy
know what
stuff
that
when we
is,
were-
Irene?
Mike
And you
got
know
that
what
to
it just
demonic
told me to
symbol.
do? It just
What?
told me to blank off.
Yeah.
It'll go blank off itself.
Yeah.
Really?
Watch this here. This
What?
is crazy. This thing snakes all the way along. Here in a second, you'll see it snakes all the way along in here. And like I said, this is when we had our Ring cameras, but our Ring cameras do not last. They just don't last. And this is no offense to Ring, but don't put them in a haunted house. All right, Mike, put it in lights. There you go. There it comes. Tell me, look at what it does. It a little snake all the way down outside and come back in the fence. Go down the boat. Comes in. Goes right down into the basement, right there. What? You see that? That's some crazy stuff, right? There it goes again, leaving the house. It's our wheelchair. I was mowing the grass like a dummy. I had a push mower for an acre. Now I have a riding mower. But I actually ran this, and I ran it, and I knew I had run, and when we had the power on in the basement, I left. I came back about 20 minutes in, and I realized that chair was not there. I went back upstairs and started running, looking through this, and this is what I found. Watch it. It goes everywhere in the basement. We've had many people tell us they see people in this chair. This is the same chair that we've had people have problems. We had a woman in our basement take off all her clothes, say she was going to have sex with her husband who wasn't there.
Right there. Just a second.
I heard that cat.
Yeah, just a second. He's hungry. I gotta feed him.
Oh,
You ever see anything like that? It just keeps moving around our
The way
basement.
it's moving, yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't see the gravity. The gravity doesn't.
No. I was pretty freaked out when I saw it. I was like, okay, I know you weren't there. So I started looking through my videos, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Listen to this. I had some ghost equipment right upstairs at the time. And you're going to you usually hear, like, we hear these series of bangs a lot in the house. We heard them this weekend. That unhappy, I think is what it said
Happy.
there.
happy.
So I did have some ghost equipment running upstairs at the time. There you go. That's what we hear in the house a lot.
Yeah.
When the Paranormal Files was there, they had a lot of this banging like that all over the house. It happens a lot. Well, this woman says something here. I think I say downstairs, but she just said demon. I'm not sure, but I think she said demon. By the way, we are 1322 Maple
Come
House
stay,
of the Dead,
stay.
Demon House.
1322 Maple, House of the Dead, located in Atchison, Kansas.
Oh, I was on this one. This is good. Listen to this. We heard banging upstairs. We're one of the most haunted basements in the world, and they didn't want to go upstairs.
Who wants to go first?
I
I gotta make sure everything's off there. You go, okay?
was like, what are you people doing? You're not in one of the haunted basements. By the way, at the top, I closed the door. This isn't my voice saying, are you scared? I locked the door. This is a shapeshifter that we have.
Oh my god!
Now listen to this
Everybody got
voice.
scared of me.
That's not me. That's that entity.
That doesn't sound like
there in
you
the
either.
attic. That's our attic entity. It's up there. That's a ghost inside there. If you look inside there, he's just inside there. You can actually see it.
Peeking around a corner. So those are some of the things that happens at the house.
Oh yeah, this is good. Watch the wall here in a second. You're going to see the thing, a black figure. Usually sets off all our alarms. This is back, Mike, when our cameras were still upright at the time. We just moved in.
Right. Yeah, that's where they came across that wall. We need more cameras down there.
Yeah.
I'm back.
There it
Watch
is.
this wall. This wall show. Did you see it?
Yeah.
That dark figure? That's crazy, right? Oh, you're good. You can turn it off. That really is a pretty cool.
What was that?
Oh, this is. Mike, you're funny.
Let's go upstairs.
All right, let's go back.
Oh my God.
You guys hear the
You hear
scream?
that?
Yeah.
We get a lot of.
Get a hit.
It doesn't like we have a demonic entities up in that dang attic, and they don't like us there. This is Mike being goofy. Oh yeah. I forgot
Well, they
this.
didn't mess
Mike.
it
This
up.
is when we first bought the house, guys. This is like we're barely moved in. Mike, I forgot all about this video.
Yeah, those dolls are all over the floor now.
Oh, they get thrown all the time.
See, they all got figures in them.
Hmm.
That's the crazy house again.
There you go. You got to see our stuff. That's pretty crazy, right? There you go. Yeah. No,
Nice.
I tell you what. That house is pretty doggone neat, isn't it? It's pretty. Every time I'm there, it's just kind of crazy like that, you know.
Did you feel anything on that one, Irene?
Yeah,
The cat did too.
my stomach went weird just a couple seconds
Did it?
ago. So, yeah, I usually get a stomach
My
ache
stomach
every
goes
time I see.
weird too.
Yeah, I usually get a
That's
stomach ache.
crazy. Oh,
I'm so used to it. It's nothing unusual.
You know, I go to that house
need a
probably
lot
more
of
than anybody
antacid.
because I got to mow it. I got to mow that house, and you know, Papa Spook said it best. When you go there, if you watch the one, it's called Paranormal Files, the Demon House. When they're
Mhm.
there, it feels like he calls it like the cosmos. I don't know if you guys have been to South Dakota. You feel like you're going one way, and your body's going. It's called ley lines there, which is
Mhm.
really weird. You walk in, you anywhere in the yard, and that you always feel like you're off. Like it's I don't know what it is. It's just like you're always off. And when I mow,
Like you're on
it
a
feels
boat.
funny. I'll be mowing. Mike. Next time you remember this, watch what happens. I'm mowing, and I'll be like this. I'm not lying. I feel like I'm being instead of being straight.
You're
You'll
tilting.
see me going like this. I don't know why. Watch. Crazy.
Mm.
So how long you guys been doing Spooky Japan podcasts?
We've been doing it for going on 4 months now.
Oh,
How'd you
nice.
guys you guys just got started? You guys know each other and just started doing
Well,
this?
we always knew each other from like social media,
Yeah.
and then then I started doing a TikTok to educate people about urban legends of Japan. And I'd always like check with Irene to make sure all my facts were like legit, because her mom taught her about the old Japanese paranormal, so I'd always confide in her.
Sure.
So then we're just like, then I started including like obviously other places, so I can start branching out, trying to get more people to watch it. But I always went back to Japanese urban legends. That's how I got my start, was just kind of learning about a lot about Japanese urban legends. And then one day, me and Irene were just like, why don't we do a podcast to try and educate people about Japan and paranormal Japan?
It's yeah. Sometimes when she'd ask me, I have to kind of like, my Google is different than her Google. Okay, my
Yes.
Google is more Japanese content, so
Okay.
I have to translate it into English, and then I'd help her. So it takes a little while. It takes a lot out of you, right?
So Amanda, when you're there in Nagasaki, do you actually go to where their ground zero is? Do you know where that is there, where they dropped the atomic bomb?
I'm near. Eventually we're gonna see it before we leave too. It is on one of
Because it's
our
right
lists.
there, right?
I'm in like, we're close to both pretty much.
Okay.
I've
The
been
one in
there.
Nagasaki is
It's
probably
bad.
the one we're gonna see, because we're obviously the closest to that. We have Nagasaki just to the right of us, not about 2 hours at least drive.
Sure.
And then we have the Hiroshima one, more like according to GPS, about 5.5 hours north.
They were all kind of fairly close, though. They were
fairly close. So that's
Yeah.
with Japanese, the roads being all windy. So
Yeah.
You know, it came down to those. They were actually originally, they were really looking at Japan, and they decided, well, we better go these other ones first because and it took the second one to finally, and they said if America would have gone over, they would have lost 1 million men. And so they said, what do? We sit here and lose 1 million men, and Hiroshima, and you had all the different Saipan and all that. There were so many guys dying that they originally said, well, we got to stop this thing somehow. It's horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. That's why I wondered if you've ever been to the ground zero there.
I've been there. I've
Yeah.
been in Nagasaki. There's two things that are there that's haunted. One is from the atomic bomb. The other one is when the Christians were crucified to the cross during the Edo era.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian, you're not Buddhist, you be kind of like you don't believe in our God, but you believe in their God. So when the merchant ship came from Spain and Portugal, they brought the priests, the brothers, and you believe in your God, so now you're gonna die like your God.
Right.
So they crucified them to the cross alive. And yeah, one of the Catholic churches in Nagasaki has the remaining femur bones of the priests who were crucified, and it's
Wow.
haunted. Yeah. They have another one in Kyoto, which is also haunted. Like,
Sure.
yeah, there are mostly Catholics in Nagasaki than in Tokyo. So yeah.
You know what?
And
They were during that time when they got bombed. People always think, the atomic bomb. I'm a big history guy. People always ask me, Steve, do you love haunts? No, I really like the history. Truth be told,
Yeah,
I
there's
like
a lot of
history.
history.
And so that's the
Yeah.
key. But people don't know, but before the atomic bomb, they were dropping, they firebombed Japan, Tokyo almost to the
Yeah.
ground. They
Yeah.
were really, it was almost, people don't realize it's almost worse than the atomic bomb because the atomic bomb was so quick. They just every night would just level Tokyo every night.
Yeah.
And but now listen, I can tell you this because my mother was a Blitz baby. My mom lived during the Blitz in London, okay? And they were bombed by Hitler every day. And Field Marshal Goering, which we have the book from the Hitler book, I find it kind of interesting. He was the fat guy of the Luftwaffe. And so what they would do is they would bomb, Germany would bomb England. They were trying to exterminate them. And so they could go in because France had fallen and all of Poland had all had fallen. The only things that were left were Russia and England. And then the English battled on. And thank goodness in 1941, America came in and that kind of changed the war. But people don't know that, these things, there's, you're right. There's haunted things from that time period because when you get leveled like that, and you just all of a sudden you die, you're like, what happened to me? You're probably still around.
A lot of Americans did die from the atomic bomb in Hiroshima.
Oh yeah.
Because I was talking to this dead person, and it's a trade center where the remainder of that building is, and he was handing out relief blankets and water and food to the people who were caught in the war, and he got hit with an atomic bomb. Him, his wife, and his children died.
Wow.
And he's in that building.
Wow. Yeah,
and his name is Robert.
Right. They had no choice. So I know people out there go, it's horrible. Literally, Japan wasn't going to give up. That was the thing. And even at the end, you're exactly right. They went and those people, when they did give up, they went ahead and did, harikiri. They would just kill themselves. And so, these people were fanatical over this, and which was, I just don't quite. Now we look at it a little differently, right? Back then it was. Thank goodness some sanity has come to the earth, a little bit. Back then it was.
But you know what? History has a habit of repeating itself if we don't learn.
Better
and
learn.
Sometimes we don't learn, and stuff happens, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm trying to make people aware. That's why I went to Hiroshima, because my mom, she got radiation poisoning from the atomic bomb, and she died
Yeah.
before her 60th birthday. And her
Wow.
back was scarred up like you wouldn't believe, because they got hit with so many things that flew from the sky, and her back was just riddled with
Burned.
scars. Yeah.
So
And
your mother was a baby in the war then, but back then
she
was
was in
she
high school. No, she
high
was in
school?
junior
Wow.
high.
In high school.
She was in
Wow.
junior high, because during junior high they had to make airplane parts instead of
Right.
going to school. Yeah.
For the Zeros. The
Yep.
Zeros. I used to fly. And then towards the end they were
Zero
doing
planes.
they were doing the kamikazes,
Yeah.
bonsai, they're literally that kind of stuff.
They were
People, it wasn't that long ago, really, think
they
about
were
it.
14-year-old children, boys,
Right.
who
Wow.
did this. Yeah. So
Can you
they
imagine sending your son out there and like, okay, you're done, and you're going to do it for the emperor? Really, I don't even ever quite understand that. In the end, he kind of just went away, and nobody ever knows about it. I just always wondered why you would send your Michael. I have a son that's young. I'm like, you're not getting no damn plane and crashing into something and dying.
no
I'm
no
sorry.
no
You know?
no no
No,
no. I
no.
That's what I tell my kids too. You're not going to do that either. But the emperor was used as a puppet from the
Was
generals who used them as a puppet to say, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And yeah, that's
sad.
why they use.
That's
Yeah.
kind of sad because your son, you expect him to grow up and be
Yeah.
strong and healthy, and then you're
Yeah.
like, they're gone. You're like, what do you think? I don't. It was a different time. I'm glad
Yeah.
sanity has come to the world, a little
Yeah.
bit. But that's cool. You guys live over there. I just think that is so cool. How long you have to be stationed
It is
there,
cool.
Amanda, till you guys come back?
At least next October, but we're hoping to extend being over here. But we're also hoping not only to extend over here, but to also be more moved to near Irene. So then me and Irene,
Yokosuka. Yeah.
yeah. So then
Yokosuka Harbor.
me and her can go on the. You'll see more adventure videos then,
Oh,
or more.
nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys go to? What I love over Japan is those vending machines. Those things I watch.
Yes.
I laugh my head off every time I see these people. They go, Mike. They have these vending machines that are like, literally. I mean, you can. I think you could just live off them. I mean, they have.
Yeah.
You can
In the
cook
big
them. They
cities, yes.
yeah.
What? Sandwiches,
You can-
candy.
Oh yeah, everything. I mean, Mike. It's to watch these videos on these. They have all sorts of, like, you go and any place you go, and then the other thing too is I love when they stay inside those. You stay in a capsule when you're staying there. You have they're like the airports. You can sleep in these little capsules. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's
Capsule
kind of
hotels,
cool.
This is what you use
That's pretty cool.
in a vending machine. You can
Yes.
buy soda with this. You can ride a train. You can ride
Cool.
actually you can ride whatever. Yeah. A bus
Irene, you're
or
the
a train.
best.
Credit
like this.
card.
Irene is the best, Mike, don't she? She's the best. We gotta have you guys on ours.
Yeah.
Because that is some cool stuff. I mean, because I'm telling you guys, you want to laugh your head off, watch some of those videos. I'll watch them. I'm like, are you kidding me? Look at this. And they show them, they literally show them like a how to get how the food, and then the guy doesn't say anything, just goes, and they'll eat it and they go, like, wow, okay, that must be pretty good.
Yeah.
Must be good.
Yeah, I do like Japan. So you
I
guys,
could-
where are you originally from, Amanda?
I grew up in Michigan, but then I moved from North Carolina over here.
Wow. Is that where you met your husband then, in North Carolina?
We met through we met when he started the military. So we met actually online, but it was through like a Twitch community because we were gamers.
Yeah.
He's more of a shooting game kind of person, but I was more into streaming horror games to begin.
Wow. Good for you.
I met through
You
community,
Cool.
met in person. It just kind of went from there.
have kids?
I do have
Yeah,
one daughter. She is 10 years old.
Nice. Very nice. Irene, how many kids you have?
3,
How old are they?
28, 18, and 17.
Wow. The 18 and 17, that's probably hard, isn't it, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
fight like half the dogs. So yeah, it's normal, and they're all gamers.
You know, it's cool. You
That's
guys are
good.
good friends like this and doing. You know, that I didn't understand what. So
It's
they give
nice.
you guys a hard time when you do haunted. Go do that. Like if you try to put this up, they'll go, "No, you can't do that."
No,
So here in Japan, it's not like America, where in America, HR really can't do anything to jeopardize your job if you don't, like, let's say you work for a corporation or wherever, as long as you don't mention where you work in your videos, or wear the t-shirt with the logo on it, or have something with the logo in the background, they can't fire you because that's your personal life. Here is the opposite. They know you're into the paranormal, you can get fired.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
You can't even say that you saw anything, because if your company
You put
found out, they
it,
could fire you.
do you put stuff on
That's why
TikTok or TV?
I
I,
don't
d-
say
I need to
anything.
start doing that again with I was just talking about the urban legends, because there's no public places you can, I mean, there's no private places you can investigate. It's all, I mean, you can, like, public parks and stuff, but at the same time. And I tell
So if
people
you
it's
take a
honestly,
video camera to some place, they could arrest you.
like,
No,
I don't know if they'd arrest me, but I know it'd probably make people uncomfortable if I brought, like, paranormal equipment. So I'm like, I can't really do investigation that way.
So like an app, you
Wow.
can't pop out an app and play it. You know, like a spirit box or anything.
Not a spirit box, because they can be too loud, and that would be too obvious, and people would just be uncomfortable.
Wow. Well, they wouldn't last 2 minutes in my house. Right,
No.
Mike? We run spirit boxes in those
Right.
houses loud, boy. I mean, to tell you, we have spirit boxes running, man. We want to know. I want to know what they're
What's
talking
that?
about.
yeah,
Well, they got plenty of ghosts over there, it sounds like.
Oh man.
yeah. Oh, and the train stations, they're haunted too.
The what is?
Really?
The train stations,
Oh, train
are
station.
haunted. Yeah, you got people
A lot
jumping
of
in front of
people
the
get
train trying
killed
to
on
kill
those.
themselves, trying to commit suicide, and jumping in front of a train. So the train stations are haunted.
Wow.
Wow.
Have you seen a ghost, Amanda? When you've been over there, have you seen a ghost?
Oh, she's seen lots of them.
Oh, I've had to call her on several, because Sassville Bay is right behind me, and there's been a time where it was like dusk, and I was like, I'm gonna walk my dog. I'm gonna take. There's not really anything paranormal out. Maybe I'll take a little bit of a longer walk while the sun is still up. And I turned around because I heard a blood-shattering scream coming from the bay, and I'm like, I'm good. I called
Mm.
Irene, and it was a spirit of a woman who, she's Japanese, but she was involved with, like, an American. Is that right, Irene?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She got pregnant by the boyfriend, and she was happy he wasn't. So did he kill her, then drop her body in the water, or just drown her?
He strangled her and threw her body in the water.
Yeah, and I
What a
heard her
piece of
scream, and
crap
I'm like,
he
yeah,
was.
I'm good.
Wow.
Mm.
But the first time I also moved here was, it's amazing how many shadow people you see. And I tell people, the first when I first moved here, I was walking my dog, walking in the street, and I saw, like, this big shadow person on the other side of the street just staring at me. And I was
Mhm.
looking around because I'm like, is this real life? Because I'm not used to them just standing and staring. I'm like, is this happening? I'm looking around. I had my dog. My dog was acting, was going over there, and she wanted to go and see the person. So I'm like, okay, my dog is acting like she sees the person, like there's a regular person out there, because she wants to go sniff and say hi to everyone. It's like, yep, she's
Yeah.
acting like she sees it. So it's there. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep walking the other side. I don't know what it wants. I'm just gonna keep walking. And I've
Yeah.
seen several
Just
like
ignore it,
that,
huh?
where they're just like,
Yeah.
they're here, they want me to know they're here, but they don't want me to mess with them. They don't want to talk to me. They're like, I don't want you walking at night, but if you have to, you need to stay on the other side of the road. Just
Yeah.
quickly keep going.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people I do not like walking at night because I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather just not deal with that.
So they have like a witching hour over there, is there a time like, you wouldn't want to be up at 2 to 4 or anything like 2
2 to 4.
Yeah.
That's what it's
2 to
here.
4.
I listen.
Yeah.
The other day, you guys know Twin Paranormal, right?
Mhm.
Those guys conned me into staying a little later the other night, right? I stayed as I'm telling you guys, I don't want to be there past 2 o'clock because all our cameras turn off. We don't know why. Well, I know why now. Why they do? I saw a house pulsate. I saw whatever was happening, and all HEL hockey sticks broke out, and we were like, and it was just, and they were upstairs talking, and I walked in the house, the ball got thrown down the stairs, and then we hear all these banging, and then these guys went outside, and they were talking to a woman, and they go out in along the side of the house. I'm sitting in the van away from the house, so that, doing their investigation because I make sure they're safe. And so I'm looking at the house while I'm seeing the lights turn on the side of the house. I'm thinking, are those animals over there turning those lights off? And I look, and it's not. So I went in and say, you guys okay? And they go, yeah, we're talking to the sea theme. I'm like, what? I said, oh. And so and I didn't know who it was at the time. So they were down by the graveyard, and they were filming, doing mapping. And I started texting. I said, Wyatt, I said, I don't think you're talking to a spirit. I think you're talking to a demon. You hear them go, And I went down there. I said, you guys okay? And they said, yeah, oh my gosh. We didn't realize that. Well, all the lights, and then I started listening in the house because I had all the stuff, and I heard rumbling, and oh my goodness. At 2 o'clock, it is really, really lets loose. I'm telling you guys, that is time to get out.
My house is not too far away from the convenience store.
Yeah.
My husband was getting off the bus to come home. He had to walk across the street. He got hit by a car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
The car kind of hit his foot.
Oh.
I'll tell you. You know why? There's a guy who was strangled, who was murdered.
Wow.
There was a set of night lights, okay? And he paced back and forth. And once in a while he'd come out, he created an accident, right? Luckily, my husband survived. The next time was in July last year. A man was on his bicycle. He got hit by a car. He died. When the police and the ambulance left the scene, I went outside. I took pictures. I could see him. He was going, so what are you going to do about it? And I said, well, you can go and stick your behind up your beep, 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 beep. And my hair on my arms was standing up. The hair on my back was zoom. And I could see him just gawking at me. I still got pictures of that area too. He was killed and he was strangled and his body was left in the field. It used to be all farmland, that area. And I said, this is where his body was left. They paved it all off and they built a convenience store on it. He behaved himself now, but he doesn't cause any more accidents. But that area just makes it. It's not too far away from where I live. It's right outside the front door of my place. I can go there really easily. It's 5 minutes walk from where I live.
Wow. That's
And
good.
I'll take you there.
It's crazy when you have that kind of stuff happen, though, right?
Yeah, it's
Scary.
it's unbelievable. And when my husband and I got off the bus, I said, "This is where his body was left to die. This is where he was killed." And my husband said, "You know what? Don't talk about it anymore." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because that creeps me out." I said, "Okay." My husband's not into paranormal. Okay, he understands it, but yeah, it's too creepy, he says. But that
Creepy.
thing, yeah, that thing came
It
out
can be creepy.
every so often. That thing came out every so often. It would create a car accident, and it was just seething. It was angry. It was jealous because he was murdered, so he came out and gained revenge on anybody who was walking in that area.
Hey, Mike, why don't you talk about some of the experiences you had with the talking to that lady? Mike has. So listen, I'll tell you guys want to hear something. Mike's having an affair with the ghost.
Oh, with that gal up
he
there.
has a woman there that
We just talking
talks
through
to
the
him all
ghost
the time,
equipment.
and I told his wife, I said, you better be careful with sending him out there because she talks to him all the time. Right?
I don't get to talk to him like Irene does, though. She's talking to him without
Yeah.
the spirit box.
Yeah, right. But you do
Yeah,
talk to
the
her, right?
spirit box.
This one talk to you. Tell
Yeah,
about
they
the
do
pretty
talk.
lights. Remember the pretty lights you were doing? You were doing
Oh
the
yeah,
lights?
she liked the faces room, we call it.
Yeah.
It's got the lights and a lot of old pictures that are haunted, and it makes it for a real creepy feel in that room.
I want to go there.
Well, she talks,
Yeah.
and that's why I designed that room, Irene, so people can feel like me and you do. So that's what we did. And so Mike,
Right.
when he goes there, this
It's like
woman
a
talks to him like you know,
going round and round.
it calls your first and last name out there with no ghost equipment. I walk in, I had something that says, find me. I have another lady touch me in the hair. I walk in, she goes, touch my head, and I go, and she goes, hello. And I go, knock it off. I mean, she touched my head like really hard. I went, knock it off. I actually got that on camera. It says, hello. I'm like, okay. That's too
So
Stewart.
there's a lot of spirits out here.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys all know Sally House is there too. McIntyre Villa. McIntyre Villa, Stephanie O'Reilly, she runs the McIntyre. Atchison up there, the Chamber of Commerce is really, really good in Atchison. That's a really fun place to go for a little vacation. There's we got the Dildred House. Camille and her husband Thomas run the Dildred House, extremely haunted. You can go there. I'm actually working with them right now, trying to set up all their site. Sally House, like I said, is, everybody always talks about the Sally House. It's right there. There's a lot of houses in that area that are very haunted, and so it's interesting to go up there. And our ghost tours are good too because we take them. But they also have a haunted trolley that they run up there, and I always look at everybody. We're trying to help everybody up there try to do well because the town itself is north of us of Kansas City, and it's kind of, the business isn't good as what it used to be. They've had some issues, and hopefully things start to improve because Kansas City is really growing. Plus, by the way, you guys like football?
Yeah.
You guys like football? Okay, so yeah, you got to be a Chiefs fan, because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and we have Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes, right? You guys all know them, right? And so, but Atchison is just on the very north side. Everybody up to Leavenworth, we're Leavenworth Prison, and also the base there, because you talk about your husband in the service. Leavenworth up there is about where they kind of stop, and then they go up to Atchison about 20 miles further, and it just seems like it just kind of there slows down up there. And so I feel kind of bad because we try to help them out up that way. So, yeah.
Someone in that house that you guys are always talking about, and I'm sure Irene is picking up on this. Well, there's two. I've been picking up on two, Irene.
Yeah.
For me, it's one either was drugged or drunk when they died. I've been feeling that.
Yeah.
There's another one I've been feeling that was like stabbed in the stomach.
What? That's Mike. How crazy is that? Dawson Tower.
We had that.
A guy stabbed in our house.
Now we found a purple hat up in the attic, and then a month later we found a ice pick in the crawl space, and then Steve just walked out of the bathroom and looked up the stairs and seen a girl in a purple dress. So I think that's the gal that might have got stabbed in the stomach. but we're not sure.
I also see children too.
Yeah,
You know,
there was an 11-year-old child that got split in half with a sled.
I love the way you tell that,
A
Mike.
snow
I
sled.
got to tell you something. I go on these ghost tours, and I know go to me, they go, tell me about the 11-year-old that got split in half. I'm like, yeah, I love that. I said my story. My business partner said, this kid, he was up there and he was sharpening a sled. And I think he slit a little bit of his torso and he bled to death. But Mike's story being split in half.
Oh, he died up there.
He was split in half. Yeah, he's up there.
Irene, was he split in half or not?
I don't know if he's split in half. Holy cow, that's quite the cut.
I could tell you where.
In the
Right
attic?
here.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
So you're feeling things too there,
In the
Amanda.
head.
So you are a sensitive. I didn't know that. You are, huh?
Yeah, she's helping me with the gift.
So how
I'm
you guys
helping
doing?
her.
May I ask how you do it?
I've blocked it for many. It's luckily for me, it's slowly having me come back into that. I've blocked the gift because I grew up as a Baptist minister's daughter where they feared the gift. They feared people with the gift because they assumed I was either doing witchcraft to
No.
see them. Well, they think everything is demons.
No.
Yeah.
But they are there. No, they are there,
I'm not
Amanda.
saying
So
they're not there, but at the same time, they're just like, they assumed because I'm seeing them and was hearing them that I was either doing witchcraft or I did something to summon the devil, and they assumed like I had demons attached to me or possessed by a demon, and that's the only reason why I had the gift. So me trying to explain, I'm not doing any of that. I've always been able to do it. And also at the time, because I grew up in a strict household, I'm just like, the closest thing I knew to witchcraft was the Hocus Pocus movie. So I'm like, I don't know witchcraft to be doing witchcraft, okay? So and they were not believing me because I had that gift. So I kind of always
Yeah.
had to hide it deep down inside and block it off because it was just scary to use. Because no one was believing me when I said I'm not doing anything. I'm not possessed. I'm not
you
attacked.
just have things come talk to you.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't. And unfortunately, because I had it, they did not believe me. That was more scary for them to not believe me
Yeah.
and always try and get the demons out of me. And I'm like, they're not there. You're getting
Yeah.
nothing out because they're not there.
Well, that's
So
good.
I'm not saying they're not there. It's not the demon in me telling me it's not there, but they're really not there.
Did you have a near-death experience? Have you both had a near-death experience? I'm going to ask you both that question. How about you, Amanda?
I did when I was a baby.
Okay. How about you, Irene?
I had a pneumothorax, and I had a hole in my lung,
There you go.
and I was dying.
Did you notice things got different once you were done with that? Did you notice how things picked way up afterwards?
Yeah.
This is what I'm like. Mike's never had it, so Mike doesn't. Most people don't have.
Yeah, I don't have.
They don't understand. But Mike will be there and he'll watch things with me, and he'll go, "Wow, I don't understand this," and it's amazing how they like to try to like I said, man. People like to shut you off with it, and it's not good. So
no, and I didn't have a choice.
Behind you, I saw people walking through your house. I'm just kidding.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice.
I think if you have the gift, eventually they don't let you have the choice. They're just like, you're gonna.
So you're a Baptist minister. Your dad was?
Yes, I grew up as a Baptist minister's daughter, so I grew up in that church.
There's nothing wrong with being in church. I mean, there's nothing wrong being in church. It's just if you get to the point where you're just like, people. This thing I figured out too.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll tell you, "Oh, you need to do it this way, this way, this way." If I told you it was a little different, people around you would go, "Oh no, you got to do it this way, this way, this way." Well, what if I told you it's a little different? And so I can say that because I come from that aspect of where I've been. And so I just want you people out there, this is a good life, and then do the right thing. And man, if you feel that what you're doing, do it. Just be careful of what here's another thing you don't do. Do not do ghost stuff in your house. Don't run
No,
equipment. Do
No,
not.
I don't. That's always been my rule.
It's
Always.
a,
I don't ever
sealed
run
all
stuff
my
in my house.
windows here. I've sealed them with holy water. I've actually sealed and I've had to do it several times. I've told Mike this because it's come home with me. I have something right now that's trying to been messing with me. I believe it's a German demon that is still trying to mess with me. Mike has heard it on a lot of stuff I play that it does do German a lot. But as far as you guys, just people out there, if you're going to mess with the occult or you're going to mess with ghosts, which have some ties to demons, just know this: when you go home, like I always tell people when they leave the tour, one of the first things I say, if you run an SLS camera and you take it home, I don't know you. Because, you may have ghosts in your house. They may be good. They could be good spirits, right? You guys know and I know that there's good spirits with us. But a lot of people out there, they'll tell you, I've heard a lot of people tell me they're all demons. And so, each his own. I don't care. The biggest though is that you don't go around and you don't bring that into your house. Leave it out outside the house.
No.
Like my house up north, our house, Mike, will never be lived in. It's gone.
Yeah.
The house I used to live in before I moved out here in North Carolina, it was haunted by a ghost. It was a Southern grandma type, the tough Southern grandma. And it's one of those, we kind of had a mutual understanding of, in the spirit world, it's her house. In the real world, in the living world, it's my house. So we both were like aware of our existence. We both also were aware both our houses in the different realms, I guess, if you want to say. But she also, I appreciated her because she also did not let anything bad in that house. There, no bad spirits could enter that house because she would not let it. Because to her, that's her house. Spirit world, that's her house.
Right.
And she's not going to be letting something bad in that house. And she did a good job of never letting anything bad in that house.
That's important too. I mean, to get to know what you got, know what you got. I'm sure do you have brothers and sisters?
One older brother.
And did he ever have any problems at all, in any of the places you've been where you were like, maybe, he felt a little something or not?
No.
You did, though, at a very early age.
Yeah.
Okay. And see, people don't foster. So the people that want to come see me, Amanda, they come because they want to push their narrative. Their narrative is that they want to see, why do you have this and other person does not have that?
We can't explain that. Yeah, nope, we can't explain that.
You don't have to. Here's the thing, Amanda, you don't have to. And Irene, you know it too. There's nothing. Just do what you do. I mean, I don't care. Live like I don't go around telling people. I go out and I'll take them on tours and they'll ask me, I've done things at places where I pick up stuff. I was at a cemetery where I picked up something that was really interesting. They did a ritual with a cat, and I knew what happened, and I just mentioned about 50 yards that way. They went and saw it, and the lady said, "Oh my gosh, you're real." I'm like, I don't, but you don't have to go do that. You just have to, live your life and just don't bring stuff home with you. Don't do things that you think that you can. If you're going to bring stuff in, this is fun to talk about here. But did you see the electronics? That electronics did not stop on it. There's a reason why that stopped on that. Did you notice that? And we ran it again. It ran fine. So people have, that's just because of that. Okay. Well, you keep thinking that because I've seen it too many times in my house. You saw the thing in my house moving around. You saw the hand in my house messing around with electronics. It always messes with electronics. So, but yeah, that's a cool thing. Amanda, I'm glad that you have it, and you need to foster it. And, just make sure that, keep it within reason because you can get to where people go overboard with it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, no.
No, I mean you don't. People like they'll go around, they live there every day, and they'll go, every day I got to do this and do this and do this to try. Come on, man, seriously, don't worry about it. Again, people always. I've had people in my house, and they'll say, "How do you?" They love the way I do it because they'll be around me, and I'll say to them, "What do I tell Mike?" I always tell them to piss off, and they'll go, "Why do you do that?" Because they get to piss off. I mean, I don't want them to be around me. I mean, you do what you want to do, but don't be messing around with me. So,
the energy in this atmosphere got better.
Yeah, it's really
You
good.
notice that?
Yeah, it does. And the thing is about it is that, Amanda, when you're going around your family, they'll look at you, like my wife looks at me. She knows what I go through. I have remote viewing. I actually can remote view. You guys know what that is, right? I actually can remote view very, very well. And it's kind of crazy the stuff I go to, places I go, things I run into, people. And it's stuff that you just, that's another reason why they try to come around me, because they want to know how I do it. It's just.
Like, how do you explain
People
what
do
you
their own
do?
thing. I don't know. By the way, if anybody's out there watching, want to come see me again, okay, look, I'm here. I'll talk to you. If you want to rent the house out, you want to go and ghost tour, I'll talk with you. I'll tell you a little bit. I'm not going to go too depth. If you think I'm going to go way down some rabbit hole, that's the wrong thing. I'm not going to do that. I like talking about what we're talking about right now. I like listening to Amanda. I like listening to Irene. I can tell you right now, I didn't want to say it the whole time. I knew, Amanda, you had something. I didn't want to say it, but and each person I'm around, I don't want. That's your own decision. It's your own. Do your own thing. Don't come and ask. What?
There's a theory that people with certain gifts into that world, their aura is brighter, and that attracts the spirit.
And Mike, what happens to me when we put Mike loves this because Mike sees it happen. We'll go places.
We need to get
Mike,
some of those aura glasses.
I'll get 2 figures on me from SLS, and then you'll get these lightning bolt things shooting down from the sky, right, Mike, on me? Which is, they shoot down.
Oh yeah,
from
on the SLS, you get the beams coming out of the trees.
And the audio, did you see me come out of the basement? It was running normal, right? I got up near the camera. Did you see what happened? Flip normal back, started crackling. That's because they're trying to communicate. Look, and by the way, if you're an orb and you're an orb out there, I really don't want to talk to you that much. If you want to come around, I guess that's okay. But I just don't really want to, you do your thing too,
Yeah.
So, but no, I think that's cool, Amanda, that you should foster it. And just a couple things is just don't go crazy though, like scrying and crap like that, because
No.
you start messing around with psychomantriums and things like that. I'm on the other side of the block. I don't want to know anything. Now, what are you doing? Now, listen, we do have psychomantrium.
We have a
in our house.
psychomantium.
We have 2 of them. But I let people do it because they go, wow, I never thought about it like that. That's the only reasons I do all this stuff, is so they get a feel for what it's like, because it's so expensive in the paranormal world.
Mm-hmm.
It's so expensive. So, and you guys know it. I mean, it's expensive. I can't even imagine Japan. Mike, we would be probably. Do they have haunted houses there?
Yeah.
Like what for you to go to? Like a commercial haunted houses?
No.
Like
No.
You couldn't go to those.
Well, technically, no, we don't have the haunted house. I know, not haunted house like actual haunted house with ghosts, but haunted house is the. I'm trying to think of the.
You
the
can go there, but you have to be very.
No, they're not talking haunted houses like
I'm
haunted
talking about a
houses.
commercial one, like with Jason and
they're
Halloween.
talking about the fake ones. There's only one that I've heard of. It is actually in Sasebo here. It's at the Host and Bosch amusement park,
Mhm.
but
Oh,
it's not like the attraction like you would have
yeah.
in America where people are jumping out at you. It's not haunted actors. It is a virtual reality kind of thing.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Because well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
I mean,
weird.
Post and Bosch, they call it an amusement park, but I tell Americans don't think of it as amusement park like a lot of roller coasters. It doesn't have any roller coasters. It doesn't really have any rides. It has more of fun museums is what they call them. Different
Yeah.
little museum things you can enter and have fun. They say
Yeah.
around October there is one that they put on that's virtual attraction haunted house.
They
Wow.
got one in Tokyo too.
Hey Tyler, what is the theme park that they have there in Japan that you always want to go to?
Fuji Q Highland.
What?
Fuji Q.
Fuji Q. You guys know
Yeah.
Fuji Q?
That's up in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Is it
That's
good?
up where I am. There's
My son
another.
always wants to go there. He always talks about
You know
going there.
what? I could tell you, Japan has Disneyland, okay, and Disney Sea. Disneyland is haunted.
Oh, really?
Disney.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
every Disney park is actually haunted. They've
Yeah.
confirmed that because people bring ashes of their loved ones and scatter them because it was
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
they
Yeah.
loved Disney, so we're gonna scatter their ashes and Disney, especially the haunted mansion. They kind of did
So
that.
now they're haunted.
They'll have to stop the ride and clean up the ashes, but a lot of people do bring, and Disney said this. A lot of people do bring their loved ones' ashes and just kind of spread them over the park. They're not happy about it. They obviously
No.
sneak them in, however hell they do it, but they sneak the ashes in and dust them around the park because that loved one loved Disney, so they would obviously want their final resting spot to be in a Disney park.
The in the middle of the night, there's a lady that walks around with a long dress. She haunts Disneyland in Tokyo even to this day, and they have it on camera. The CCTV camera that it protects the park, okay?
Sure.
And yeah, she walks around all over the place at 2 o'clock in the morning. And Disneyland is 11 o'clock is the last time we can walk around and see the fireworks. But yeah, and they close at midnight.
Y'all know where Disney came from, don't you, Walt Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah,
From Kansas City, right?
Kansas City.
yeah.
Used to be here. So we actually take you on the Ghostly Gangster Hotel tour and also to the Rockin' Day Cab to Kansas City. And we actually take you to where Walt Disney you actually came, and he actually was had started Laugh-O-Gram here. And his business was doing okay when he came back from World War One. His brother Roy was in the service. Walt was just a year too young to be in, so he became a corpsman. He became a ambulance driver. And so when they came back here, him and a guy named Hub Irish, they started a company called Laugh-O-Gram. And then they're restoring it here back in town. And so they were there for many years, but it didn't work out. So when Walt left here, he left Kansas City, went to L.A., and he went there, and he went with his brother there, and they lived with I believe their aunt. But when they left Kansas City, he had $40 in his pocket, and he left here, and he coined some phrases. One of the phrases he said, "Failure is not an option." And so we go there and we talk about it. It also talks about mice. He used to pick up mice and put them into a little cage and feed them. And eventually he thought he would drop the thing, and he called it not Mickey Mouse, it was called Mortimer Mouse.
I remember, yeah.
And then his wife thought it would never sell. And so she said, we better change that name. And so they changed it to Mickey. But all those things he did, he drew, all those things, there were a lot of them in Kansas City. And then later in life, he always came back and he always said that Kansas City was the place that kind of got him right, because he learned that failure is not an option in life. And I used to tell my athletes.
After Mortimer came Steamboat Mickey.
With
Yeah.
Steamboat Mickey, you'll see Steamboat Will and
Steamboat
Steamboat Willie, and, right,
Steamboat
and all
Willie.
that. Yeah, and so, but yeah, he was here in Kansas City, and it's kind of cool. They're restoring a place called Thank You Walt Disney, and it's funny. You guys want to hear a funny story? Walt used to go to work, and they didn't have a shower in there, and it used to start to smell. And Hub I was tell him, say, you got to go down and get showered up. So he'd take the trolley down to Union Station and take a shower and come back. Heard of that, Mike? He used
No.
to do that. There you go. Yeah. So
Steamboat
Oh.
Mickey is now public domain, so people can now start using it for games and other things. So they said
Yeah.
you're gonna see it in games and stuff now.
Yeah.
we have a new theme park coming here called Mattel Land. By the way, it's coming to Kansas City. It's going to be a big Mattel Land. It's going to be really big.
Big.
Yeah. Yeah, Kansas City's good town. It's a really, really good city. If you guys ever get a chance to come to Kansas City, you guys come and we'll take you guys on a haunted taxi. You'll have a great time. You guys say, wow,
I'm
that was
going not next year, the year after I'm going. Not next
Yeah,
year, but the year after I'm going.
We're also in Branson. We're in Branson, Dodge City, Jackson, and Kansas City. And like I said, our tours in Branson and Dodge City are the best. They're really fun. They're good places to go to. Again, we go to different haunts in those areas. And so we're trying to move throughout the country right now to other places. We're looking at Miami and Orlando and some other places. But our big thing right now is we're looking for more vacation places. We used to be in Omaha, and Omaha kind of was, Mike, right? It was okay, but it wasn't.
It wasn't very busy.
And Dodge City right now is doing
Dodge City's
kind of
closed.
slower. But Branson here and Atchison do very, very well. And so, so yeah. So no, that's cool that you guys are like that. So no, but guys, I've got to probably have to go here pretty quick here. I've got a lot going on still left the rest of my evening. But I have enjoyed being with you guys. Anytime
We'll
you
have
guys
to
want
have you back on in the future.
Yeah. 'Cause I love talking to sensitives like yourselves because it gives me kind of somebody else I can talk to about some of the stuff. If you guys ever want to do a show on this kind of thing, Amanda, I can bring on some of the top people in the whole country that will come. I know they'll come on here.
Okay.
And that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I mean, I've actually done
and
that.
if you're ever in the mood to take a road trip,
yes, I'd come out there.
call me.
Come out there.
I could put you up in my house.
So how do I would like that, Irene. So let me ask you, how did you say Arakara? It's not called Arakara. What's it called again?
Aokihara.
Okihara. Okihara. Okay, I have to remember.
I can never say that either, so I just say
I
Irene.
always thought it was Arikara. So it's Okihara. I have to remember.
Okihara.
Aokihara. Aokihara.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's where I want to go. I really want to go. I would love to do that. I think that would be like an ultimate vacation. People are like, are you crazy? You can go all these different places there. I'm like, no, I think I want to go there.
But first, before we go anywhere, I'd have to take you get cleansed first.
Yeah, you want to pray?
No, I'm taking you to my Shinto shrine, my relative's Shinto shrine from a long time ago, and we'll go there. There's a lot of haunted places too around there too, because there was a lot of sword fighting and a lot of there's a lot of dead things walking around there.
Think of it, Stephen, as Japan's version of getting blessed.
Okay. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm on board.
Which
Let's
is good
go.
to do here because obviously the ghosts here kind of follow more of the Shinto or the Buddhist kind of thing.
That's fine. As long as we all going to go to the same place in the end, I'm telling you guys, it's there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
And the airport's not so far away from where I live, so I could pick you up at the airport and bring you home.
All right. Sounds good. It sounds like a fun time.
Thanks so much for joining us. We had a blast.
Yeah. It was great.
Yes, thank you.
I enjoyed myself.
And let me
And
tell you
for
something.
any-
You guys, anytime you're coming around and you want to be on a show, if you want to talk about like maybe possession things, I've got people like that have been in some of that. I've run into a lot of people. Now I'm not going to get into demonic stuff too much, but
No.
I can tell you some of the people that are like the top psychics around. Things like that I can bring on. I know a lot of them that would find this quite interesting. And I think a lot of them would be on because they know that I'm going to be on. And I'm not going to go too far. Listen, okay, before we leave, you're not going to start calling me again and saying, hey, Steve, come do this. No, I'm not doing that again. I'm not. Okay. Mike knows this. They call me. I'm not. Look, I'm not there, that guy. Okay. I'm doing a haunted taxi. Okay. And I'm on Amanda and Irene's show here. The Spooky Japan podcast is the best. Okay. Come on. It's good.
Thank you.
If you're
It was a
out
good
there,
show.
follow these guys. Like and subscribe. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
and
clip that and
subscribe.
be like, Steven said so. So
That's
Yeah.
right. Just like and subscribe.
There you go.
To the Spooky Japan podcast. They're
Steven approved this podcast.
fantastic. So,
Alright,
thank you
so
guys
much.
again.
Thank you guys and
Yeah.
everyone who tuned
Thank
in
you.
and or
Thank
anyone
you.
who's listening later. Thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
God bless you.
We'll
See
see you
you guys.
next
Bye
time.
now.